welcome back to the Wooden Ladder. In this episode, I'm going to take you on the journey of from our last trip. Well, we thought it was our last trip. There's another story to that. And setting up the compound and the tarp, covering everything with a tarp. So we're calling this beginning to settle because it really is in the early stages. So I'm sitting here. It is actually trying to rain outside. You can see my nice blanket curtains in the caravan. And Joe is outside doing tarp water management. I call him a tarp water engineer, which is actually a little bit more than that because he's had to dig holes and he's got this like sump pump kind of thing because where the water pools and yada yada yada. Yeah, it's not just all fun and games. People say, "Are you settled? Are you getting settled?" And it's like, yeah, no, we will. We've got time. So I'm going to take you. I'm going to play a couple videos as well. So I won't have my little chat head up in the corner, but I'll be here and let's see where we're at.
We made it. This is what we call home now. Joe's just going to back in. Somewhere back there is the trailer that we're staying in until we design and build our next home. There it is. We've got a plant. And here he is. Let's see if I can zoom in. It's pouring rain, always useful when you have a very large load. If you're not following us on our new YouTube channel, you can join us there at Wooden Ladder, and I will document this epic journey of 3 26-foot trucks, 3 15-foot trucks, 7 trips with the car and trailer, one of these little covered trailers, and a car trailer. But here we are. He's amazing. He really is. Hi. It's pouring rain. But we're here. There it is. It's a big one. It's very wet. Moving at the best of times is not all that much fun, but in the rain. So our plan is to cover the entire compound with a tarp so that we can unload. Oh boy.
So here we are. The tarp that we covered the area with is 30 by 60, which is the same size footprint as the main floor of the church house that we left. And I need to say, Joe always wants me to tell you that the reason it took so many trips is because we had to clear the land and because of the weight. So we had to kind of manage the process as we were going. So this was just a big field on the property when we first got here. So there was a lot of that. Then there was leveling the ground and managing the weight and getting certain pieces here at certain times. There was one, I would say, mistake that we did make in not covering the space between the two sea cans. But in any case, at midnight, Joe put up this big 30 by 60-foot tarp because, when you move, everything gets it expands and then you have to unload it before you can unpack it. And not everything was about to be unpacked either. So it was quite the ordeal. But in the end, we now have this dry space that we could unpack that little trailer and the 26-foot truck. And covered it so that the he's covered it so that the what do you call it, the wind holding it up in the middle, managed to get it so that it drains more or less, doesn't pool, because that would be quite the sploosh. But there is our compound, we call it, and it's very, very temporary, but it has to stay like that until we can also unpack the original sea can and reload that a little bit, because it was packed again with weight in mind, and now we need to pack it with just getting stuff in there so that it's going to stay dry and out of the way. So this took us about, I think we had the truck, we kept extending the how much time we had for the truck and the trailer. It took us a few days to unload. A, we were super tired, and B, it just was, yeah, let's just say it was not the easiest thing to do. Oh, I didn't know I could zoom that. Isn't that interesting? Um, oh, there it is from this angle as well. And this is what we had to unpack.
Say hello. We're going to unpack this big monster, and everything is going to have a nice home. It's true. It's all. Yeah.
Why do we
Come on.
need these chairs?
Well, two of them we're sitting on.
What?
Two of them we're sitting on. Okay, I'll sell it. Look,
Can't
there's.
sell one.
Well, we'll put it outside then. Everything's good outside. Well, if there's nothing else, there's lots of room in there. Kind of. Not. Okay, TV going. Or there's the orange chairs. Everything's orange. But this is where all the storage is supposed to be. A little bit full, but when we unpack boxes, it'll get better. The shop's going to be in there, and there's empty shelves. It's all good. There's the big sigh. This will be covered. There's going to be room for stuff in there. It's going to work. It's going to work. It is. There's no room in there.
No.
Say hello.
So it was stressful, to say the least, because there really is no place to put stuff. And even now, it's constantly juggling. And I'm going to say we're tired, but Joe's doing the heavy lifting, and I'm doing the unpacking. So you kind of get the idea that there was really no place to put anything. And I mean, there is, but you have to unpack it before there's a place to put it. And you have to have a place to unpack things. And when all the boxes are piled up, it was a bit of a mess. So, but we had our little shonkies, and we had our beautiful sky, and we have our beautiful property, and we hold on to those grateful moments, because it's a lot of work. And we brought our hearts from the church house. I think we have 7 cans of heart rocks now, and these ones we kept out, some of the biggest treasures. And we did have some fun as in the process of all of this. It's definitely work, but you know here we are.
It's raining, but we've got the big, massive tarp.
And
Here comes the rain. But we are all dry under this big, giant circus tent. Look at it. It's as big as the church house was. And it covers everything. Woohoo! Set up last night at midnight.
I don't know, the orange chairs. We love the orange chairs. I'm going to design the new place around the orange chairs. We kept them. They were the first things into the church house, and they were the last things out of the church house. Right now, they're just sitting in the temporary shelter, but they will find a home. And we did sell stuff. I have not sold that chair from that last video, but we did sell the stereo that we had to buy. We sold this, one of my favorite office chairs. It was so heavy. Just chairs are hard to stack, and we're not going to be playing the stereo, so it went. We had it in the church house. We'll get another one. And in the middle of all of that, of course, we have grandbaby, and so it's a good thing, because it's a beautiful diversion, and it's a great reminder of what's really, really important. Why are we here? Why are we doing all of this? Why we're settling here? And I guess you could call it homesteading, but it's such a beautiful contrast. The new life there compared to, yes, this is new life here, but this feels like an enormous amount of work compared to the um, the love that we get to share with our daughter and son-in-law and our grandson. It's just amazing. And the truck, it did get unloaded. It took about a week, like I said. We brought some strange things. Most people might think, but this is a platform that's going to be used to get in and out of the trailer. And Joe had about a year-long project to figure out how to dismantle a an old piano that will become a garden ornament. And so here we are
I
unloading.
have no idea. Here we go. This is what the inside of a piano looks like.
It's gonna do a runaway. It's taking out a whole bunch of.
It is. It's not going to run away. It's going to be fine. Mama's almost falling. There we go. Yay. There's the piano project. There we go.
Piano.
So what the inside of a 100-year piano looks like when you take the harp for the garden, of course.
And this picture was because this was our last 26-foot truck, and that was it. It was like, done. U-Haul, you've been great. Like, seriously, for the number of trips that we made, the number of vehicles that we rented, and all of the various changes and things that had to happen as this was coming down, it was amazing. So this is what it ended up looking like as yeah. There it is. It's getting better now, but everything got covered. And that big giant tarp, it actually does. The water rolls off of it. It's quite amazing. And it's just beautiful. The sky is gorgeous. We sit outside a lot because inside here is very cozy, but it's just so beautiful. The sky, the sunsets, the sunrises. This was the view first thing in the morning. Joe's since cleared some of those blackberries so we can actually see the slough and enjoying our new life. And while there is definitely pressure to get things done before the rain, before the freezing, we have to remember to still live. It's not that those are not all ours, by the way. But we've been out. I had my printer, my big tank of a printer died. And that had to get dealt with. And, you think you're living in a small place and everything should be small, but I could not bring myself to replace that big, wonderful, reliable piece of equipment with something that didn't work or that was even more expensive and cheaper. And so we drove into South Surrey about an hour or so and got a big giant printer again, but much, much, much better deal than what we could get on something else. We couldn't bring our big spool for outside. This one is bar top. We've got two. One's tabletop height. This one's bar top height. So we went and picked up another one because in the field that we're in right now, we can start to do events. We have a campfire. We can set up a tent once we get a bit more settled. And in the other field, that's where we will be planting our flower and our herbs and setting it up, landscaping, so that we can do events. So I was very sad not to be able to bring our big spool. So it was awesome that we were able to get another one. This is our outdoor shower. There is an inside one, but I've loved, loved, loved an outdoor shower forever. So is it rustic? Yep, it is. But you know what? It works. And I'm super excited to be able to just stare at these big, gorgeous maple trees while we have that. And the contrast between that and what's going on out here this is what happens in the wind, in the rain. But we also started to have a bit more fun as we were doing it.
Orange chairs have now found a home inside the shelter. It's a bit full. And there's still stuff outside the big tarp. And yeah, that shelter is pretty full. No problem. Maybe this bin will have more room, but voila. And of course the big wall of chairs. And from this angle.
This is what's coming together in the sea can. It's a closet. The clothes are hanging 9.5 feet in the air. You have to stand on a stool in order to get your jackets down, but whatever. The the closet and the office and the pantry and the bookshelf and everything is all in one place. And here we are now. Joe's starting to double protect the tarp. So the big long initial tunnel that we call the tunnel because you have to differentiate your shelters, got covered with another 30 by 60 foot tarp. It's quite something to see the size of the footprint of the place that you just moved out of laid out on the ground like that. But we covered that one up.
Somehow this 30 by 60 tarp is going to is going to get on top of the double tunnel. Somehow this
and it left room for other stuff like the whiskey barrels, and there's another clothes rack that we were hoping to be able to use but didn't work, and just outside stuff, garbage cans and whatever. So woohoo to that. There we are, putting things away so they'll stay dry, relatively speaking. Digging holes for our composting toilet. Yeah, it's pretty rustic, but we have this amazing pear apple tree. So Joe was actually pruning the tree while we were enjoying these delicious pear apples. Didn't even know what a pear apple was, but very juicy, very yummy. And getting ready to mow the lawn. Hanging out with baby, of course, walking with daughter and baby along the river, just enjoying the process in the middle of the chaos is really all I can say about it. And then there was the bear. So this all happened in a couple of weeks, right? There was the bear. The bear, our attendants messaged and said, the dogs were going crazy, so we could hear that. So Joe grabbed bear spray and I went into the trailer and waited to hear what was going on. He eventually swam across the slough to the other side. And interestingly, he was kind of chased by some cows.
I'm videoing him right now, you guys.
Huh?
I'm videoing Mr. Bear.
So?
Well, just letting you know. Well, hang on a sec. Maybe not that exciting, but there he is. Well, kind of is. Mr. Bear with the cows.
Well, thank you, Joe, for coming over.
Yeah.
Rescue.
So there's the cows holding the bear right there. So we got dog on this side of the slough. So where are you gonna go, Mr. Bear? Where did you go?
Yeah. So that was super fun. And then the next thing that happened, this all happened in a matter of a couple of weeks. I think I just said that. So then Joe got some of his wood and started to build the cover between the two sea cans.
There we go, taken from the stack of, how many do you have there, honey? About 40?
40 long.
40 long ones like this from the bridge. One of the reasons, of course, why we had so many trucks. The wood had to come in one 26-foot truck just to cover the weight. But here it is, getting put to good use in this temporary situation.
And there's
Look at that,
8
beautiful.
foots and 4 foots. And all saved from the
Yay,
dumpster.
Mr. Salvage.
And it's all fur.
And it's all fur, and it's also going to go to good use. Say hello, say hello. Look at this. Do. Getting ready to build using the dolly, hauling the wood over. It's going to be
Handmade dolly.
the handmade dolly, of course. What are these things going to be? Like trusses between the two bins?
Yeah.
There you go. How tall are they?
9.5 feet.
9.5 feet, as tall as the bin. How much do they weigh? 50 pounds each. There you go. Ta-da. Reclaimed wood off of the bridge on the salmon trail. Very in Lumbee. Yeah, very, very nice old fur.
And
How much
many-
weight is there? 200 pounds?
Dolly's already heavy.
Here we go. Doody doody doo. Oh, don't squish the caterpillar. There we go. Over to the stack.
So of course, while he was doing all of this, I was videoing and I'm working on the business side of things for the new Home and Garden Network. So I'm sitting, but I'm still nursing my ankle as well. I'm now doing exercises, but during this period of time, I couldn't be on my foot for that much. So it was Joe did a lot of work, up and down, and eventually I did
Go.
help. There we go.
This is how strongman gets 50-pound boards up on top of a 40-foot sea can, high cube, 9.5 feet. Da-da-da-dum. Yeah. Woohoo. Do some deadlifts while you're up there. Do some lifts or presses or something. Okay, one. Next.
There we go. I did help from the bottom, just a little bit of lifting, because that was a lot of heavy boards to get up there. But he laid them all out between the two sea cans. They got covered with a piece of clear plastic to start, and soon both sea cans and that center section are going to be covered with another 30 by 60 foot tarp that will extend out the back and a little bit out the front as well, so that we've got more dry covered area for him to do some work in his shop, etc., etc. But you can just kind of see where we're at there. That's what he did. It's just stapled down there right now, but it is happily doing its job, keeping things dry. We haven't had too much wind, and voila. But the big mistake we made was not putting the gravel down between the two sea cans, and that is for another video, but it is there now. And yeah, here we go. Yikes. Not sure why video went sideways, but this is what it looks like when it's empty. Hence, very temporary situation. And the water, catching the water, that garbage can in the center there now actually is full of water intentionally to help hold the tarp so that it drains properly. And here we are, knowing that we are getting settled. And this was our first purchase of an outdoor plant in about 10 years. Mr. Banana came home with us. And we're starting to, we haven't dug in our other plants yet. I guess I'll start here. We're doing all of this stuff. I'll stop sharing for a second here. We're doing all of this, working, life, loving, where loving the whole concept of the new life, and just being with our daughter and grandson and son-in-law, and being able to go out for dinner to some place other than the pub. Not that there's anything wrong. The pub in Lumbee is actually an awesome place. It's your perfect neighborhood pub, but it was the only place to go that was close by. And so we are super grateful to try out all of these new places in where we are now. And so in that couple of weeks, this is where I'm going to leave this video off. In that couple of weeks, we had a moment, and we both came to that realization at the same time, that we hadn't properly put closure to leaving the church house. We had basically adopted this, like, let's just get out of here, like we're gone, like let's just get it done, and it was super, super stressful. And it was just like, don't care, go. And we were trying to beat the rain. As you can see, we didn't. And so after being here for about 2 weeks, we still had possession of the property up there. And one night we both just looked at each other and we realized that we actually needed to put closure. And so let me share again, go back to sharing. So we went back. We took the car and the trailer, and just last minute, spur of the moment decision on the Thursday, we went back. And along the way, there was some pretty crazy, wild clouds. We've never seen anything like it before. That's why all these cloud pictures. Um, but it was the right thing to do. Look at the wave in the clouds, like just swirling. And yeah, got a call from a friend and picked up a hutch for her on the way. So that was really fun. Delivered that. Arrived to find out that our neighbor's house actually had sold. So that was also really good. Lit the fire inside. The place was totally empty. Outside wasn't, but we set up our blow up mattress and we didn't know whether we'd have any electrical. So we took candles and the generator and all kinds of stuff, wheeled in some chairs that had been left for the people that are going to be renting in the shop, and set up our blow up mattress up at the front by the fire. Love the fireplace. Um, went back to the pub for dinner. Had a fire outside. Had some friends over. We love our outside fires. Friends came, brought us some food as well. Found some things that had been left behind, including this one. It was just in the shop. It was all rolled up. That was from when she was traveling and competing nationally in track and field. So grabbed stuff like that. Also, a friend said, you need to check in the cupboards, et cetera, et cetera. So when our daughter was younger, she had made this thing. It always lived underneath the sink where we had the compost bin. So we grabbed Bob the compost bin thing and left a few things for some friends and said goodbye to the apple tree, which was so beautiful, but somehow it split just as we were gone during that 2 weeks.
Okie dokie. And that's a wrap.
And said goodbye properly. I'm making another video that will kind of show the before, during, and after of this chapter. But there we have it. We left the next day and it was perfect. It was perfect. We arrived back at our new place to beautiful sunsets.
Meanwhile, back underneath the big tent, or the big top, there's still a lot of stuff to put away. But Joe's engineering has the water and wind under control while we have this 30 by 60 foot tarp, which was the same size footprint as the church, covering everything. Ever so useful. Yeah, just a little bit of work. But I'm pretty encouraged, actually, that there's a couple lights that are being delivered tomorrow, and there are many boxes that have been unpacked. I haven't labeled anything yet, but you can actually, we definitely have to sort out the food. The pantry is a bit of an issue, but you can start to see stuff. Oh, food over there, food. Yeah, we were ready for the apocalypse with the size of the pantry we had in Lumbee. But it's actually getting there, like I feel like I can see some of our treasures. I've set up my books. There's our closet, because everybody needs a closet and a sea can. And yeah, it's gonna work. Not that it's gonna work, it has to work. But look, we got plants. We did briefly talk about digging some of them in today. There's our new banana plant, the first outdoor plant we've bought in probably 10 years. That and the maples that have made it since the place we lived when we were first married. They're looking a little bit sad, but they're getting dug into the ground. They never did up in the Okanagan, but I told them last year that was the last year, and here we are. Here's another angle of, yep, it's a bit of a mess, but it's a start. Meanwhile,
So here we said goodbye, arrived back to our big mess, but it's home here now. And we've gone back to, you know, exploring the neighborhood and just enjoying the new property. And we've actually started talking about where are we going to build the house. And we've been looking we started looking more seriously at house designs and pictures. And Joe's been in future video, you'll see the next one's how we started to clear so we can see some of the land. And here we are. My lovely drapes. It is definitely raining, and we are heading into rainy season. So it's a good thing we have a baby. It's a good thing we have vision. It's a good thing we have new projects, and it's a good thing we have a whole new city to explore. And if we really need to, we can drive all the way into Vancouver. And yeah, stay tuned for the next chapter of more finding places. How do you actually do this and starting to clear the land? See you then. Make sure that you are subscribed, that you like, and that you share. We're also on Instagram for little snippets at Wooden Ladder Home. But make sure you like here. Here's the full story. See you next time. Thanks for watching.